Three players that I believe can fix Man United. Now, before we get into this, please do smash the like button and do subscribe. We're trying to get 4,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Now, this is going to be an interesting video, and I'd love to see what you lot think. And we're going to start off straight away. I looked at Man United now on the field and looked at the game against Manchester City and thought, what positions do they need to strengthen more than anything else? Now, a lot of people may disagree with my opinions, but as I said, let me know down in the comment section below. So we're going to start off straight away, the wing. Now, you look at the forwards so far this season, they've been absolutely dreadful for Manchester United. Between Højlund, Garnacho, Sancho, Martial, Rashford, they have only got one goal between all of those players. Like, it hasn't been a very good start at all. So I thought, what player could suit that? What player, proven Premier League quality as well? Because all three of the players I'm going to be discussing today all have got proven experience. Because I think that is integral. Because we've seen Man United's kind of transfer strategy where they've gone to the Eredivisie. Oh my word, I can't speak. They've gone to the Dutch league and they couldn't. Those players haven't acclimatized to the league. They need somebody that can come in and instantly get some goals, help the side, a player that understands the league. That is my opinion. I think they need some Premier League proven quality straight away that can get straight into that 11. And we're going to go straight for Eberechi Eze. Now, I know a lot of Palace fans won't like me for this, but I am a West Bromwich Albion fan, so I've watched a lot of Championship football. When Eberechi Eze was playing in the Championship, I thought this guy is a serious player. He scored against my team on the last game of the season. He mazy runs, tenacious, and what I really like about him is that tenacity. He's got that grit to him. The kind of player that really likes to take the game by the scruff of his neck. A player that likes to lift a stadium, likes to get people off their seats. And I think that's exactly what Manchester United are crying out for right now. A player that can be exciting to watch, because right now it's not exciting to watch Manchester United. They're crying out for a player like Eberechi Eze. I remember it kind of gives me vibes from when Zaha first went to Manchester United, but this guy's got more proven experience. This guy has done it now for a couple of seasons, and last season he was absolutely brilliant. I know right now he's been carrying a knock recently, but I'm talking about a player that could fix them maybe in January if he comes in. I think he would be absolutely huge for them. You know exactly what he's going to get. He's going to get goals, he's going to get assists, and as I said, I think the feel-good factor is a huge part with this. An English player who will just make everyone excited. That's the thing. We speak about this with a lot of players, and a lot of players, like I know when Rashford was firing on all cylinders, he's kind of that feel-good factor that Man United had, and now he isn't performing. They need a player who can lift everyone off their seats, and I think Eberechi Eze would be huge for Manchester United. So that's the first player I think that Man United could sign, and it's a reasonable signing. Like, I don't think it's obscene. It's not going to be too ridiculous a fee. Yes, it'll be quite a large fee, but it saves them going abroad like they did with Jadon Sancho, like they did with Antony, and paying nearly up to 100 million euros for these players with no experience. I think that's the big thing. That's the vital part to this. They need players with some experience, the know-how, and that's why I think Eberechi Eze would be huge. Now onto the next position. I believe Man United are crying out for a box-to-box midfielder / holding midfielder, a player that has got that defensive qualities, because when you look at the midfielders they've got currently, yes, I know they've got Casemiro, but I don't think right now, personally, I don't think he's good enough. I think his legs seem to have gone. I know recently he's been carrying some knocks, but then you look at the other players, like Amrabat has struggled so far since he's been playing. Mason Mount's been struggling, but McTominay's kind of looks better when he's playing in number 10. Eriksen, a lot of these players are a little bit lightweight. They need somebody in there who, again, can kind of take the game by the scruff of its neck, and who's got that technical ability that can play in a Ten Hag system that the ball can go through. Because right now the ball is missing that midfield, and we've seen it with the likes of Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire playing at the back. That it's skipping the midfield every time. It's going straight up to the strikers. So I would like, if I was a Man United fan, to be going for a signing like Douglas Luiz. Now, Douglas Luiz, I know obviously a lot of people say, oh, you're only picking him because of how well he's been doing with his goals recently. But for Aston Villa, he's been a proven player. He's been performing now for the last few seasons. One of the only players that actually came out really good of the Steven Gerrard era, who's playing very good for them. He's a set-piece demon. He scores from distance. And I think he's technically so good. You don't get signed for Manchester City when you're a youngster for no reason. And he came over from Brazil, and then he got signed to Aston Villa. They had the option for the buyback clause. Manchester City did. They didn't activate it. And maybe now looking back on it, they might think, do you know what? Actually, we made a mistake. We should have got this guy back when we could have. I don't think he'd be too ridiculous a fee. Again, when you talk about some of the players, when you see some of the fees for your likes of DJ James Ward-Prowse, your Declan Rices, your Caicedos, I think he'll be less than your 100 million kind of player, but he will add that, again, tenacity. That's a big thing. Again, you need kind of those players that have got that grit to them, but then the technical ability, he moves the ball around, he can take the ball in so many different situations. That's the thing I think that'll be huge for them. A player who can take that ball in that pocket, in that gap between the defence and the midfield, and can move it on then to your likes of players like McTominay who are going on forward, you Bruno Fernandes, and maybe it could help somebody like Rashford, having a player who can distribute that ball so much better than Casemiro has been recently. recently because Casemiro, as I've said, I personally think his legs have gone. I don't think he's good enough. So I think Douglas Luiz would be a great player again. And I know I spoke about the fee. I don't think the fee would be too ridiculous. I know it probably is a little bit difficult with Aston Villa right now with how well they're doing. But at the end of the day, it's Man United. If Man United come knocking on the door, they've still got the buying power, regardless of how they're performing now. And regardless of the fact that they're below Aston Villa right now, I still believe they could sign that player. And now onto the final position. I believe they need a centre-back. And I know a lot of people may say, oh, but we've got loads of centre-backs. Well, Lindelof, I don't think is good enough. I also think Varane and Martinez still haven't been too convincing, and Varane with all of his injuries and he's getting on a bit. Not only that, they've got Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire, yes, has been very good recently, but I don't think he's good enough, let's be honest, for Manchester United. I think people are kidding themselves. Yes, he's been playing well. If a player shouldn't be playing, he's been pushed out of the squad and has had to come back. It just shows the crisis that Manchester United are in. Johnny Evans, I don't even think we need to discuss that. Simply not good enough. It's a shame because, again, I've said as before, I'm a West Bromwich Albion fan, so I liked him at his time when we signed him from Manchester United, but the fact that he's gone back there and the fact that he's even playing just shows you the situation that Man United in. And I think Joachim Andersen, yes, I know a second Crystal Palace player, but Joachim Andersen, maybe even Guehi, but I prefer personally Joachim Andersen. Joachim Andersen is one of the best technically gifted defenders in the league. This guy can distribute passes like Virgil van Dijk, John Terry-esque. The long balls are so accurate, it's a joke. And again, that is exactly what they need. They've signed a keeper like Onana to pass out from the back, and then they don't have the players that can actually help him do that, which is just, for me, ridiculous. I think he'd be absolutely vital for them. A player who's a leader, he's captain that Palace side, and you can tell he could tell he's so aware. Like, his vision, he reads play very well. He very rarely makes a mistake. Like, can you ever think of a mistake he's made? No. And he did score a screamer against Manchester United. But I do think he's a very, very technically gifted footballer, a great footballer that would fit into this Man United side like a duck to water. I think he'd go in there straight away and he would lift it. And maybe Martinez as a partner would work out quite nicely. But as I said, Joachim Andersen has been brilliant. And again, he's got the experience in the Premier League. He's had a couple of seasons now. He had a season with Fulham. Then he had 2 seasons with Palace. And he's been vital for every side he's played for. Yes, the fee will probably be quite high, but again, Man United have got the buying power. We've seen them spend money before, so they can do it, and there's no reason why they shouldn't. So those are the 3 players that I think could fix Man United in the long run. So I'll do a quick summary yet again for you. The 3 players that I believe could fix Man United if they went and signed in January. 1 being Eberechi Eze. I think they need a goal-scoring winger. I think he's better than Rashford personally. I think he will be absolutely amazing. Bring that feel-good factor, lifting the bums off seats for Man United, and the kind of player that they can get excited about. Another player I think they should try and sign is Douglas Luiz, a holding midfielder that's technically gifted, that will allow the rest of the team to bomb on forward because he'll be able to find those passes. A player that's technically good and he's tenacious, and I think that is exactly what Manchester United need right now in that midfield. And then the final player, Joachim Andersen, a true leader at the back, a player who can distribute the ball forward, that will allow Onana to actually pass out from the back, because that's why they've signed him. So Joachim Andersen, Eberechi Eze, and Douglas Luiz are my 3. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think of these players, whether you think they're not good enough, whether you think they're too good, whether you think they're likely or not. But as I said, I'm intrigued to hear what you lot say. But thank you for watching. Bucket Sam over and out. Thank you. Bye-bye.